Hi, everybody. I wanted to share another demo today. And the point I want to make with regard to this demo is the sometimes complicated and confusing notion of setting up your own still life. So I know that I had asked everybody to use four or more objects. If this is something that still feels um, complicated or confusing in some ways, I want to show you a way in which you can, in fact, execute a drawing with something as simple as just a table, and in this case, a vase of flowers. Um, so let's just take a quick look, and I'll stop it during at certain sections to talk a little bit. There was another question too. I think the assumption is that when um, doing a still life, you paint one object at a time. Um, what I want to show you is that you can't see what's taking place unless you find sets of relationships. Now, that's complicated. I'm going to try to explain this as best as possible, but when I say look for patterns of light and dark, what I'm asking you to do is to find specific edges, for instance. So this edge of the table is very dark. To the left and to the right of it are two values, very similar. But in order to understand the location of that edge as well as the value, one has to see their relationship to either one. So another way of saying it is patterns of light and dark. Light to dark, dark to light, light to dark, dark to light, light to dark, dark to light, and light to dark, and so on. So in the video, you'll see a constant negotiation of these patterns of light and dark that don't discriminate between what is on the table or what's around it. It's all the same thing. So the point is, at any given moment, you'll see that there'll be a decision made here and then another one there. It's a constant flexing of seeing one value next to another. Now, of course, this is a demonstration using the black and white acrylic paint, but it's easier to discuss these patterns of light and dark with regard to value with this immediate material. Doesn't necessarily mean you are bound to use it unless, of course, the assignment is asking you to. But with regard to drawing 1 and 2 students, we're using the vine charcoal, and as I showed the demo on Sunday, putting down a tone ground and then using your eraser and your charcoal to then begin to find patterns of light and dark. The same principle that I'm explaining here with regard to finding these relationships, these patterns of light and dark, apply to the charcoal as well. It's just a clear way of showing you. Because we're not in a classroom together, I have to, depend on these demonstrations as best as I can. And I would say to you, if you are confused about any of this, certainly pause and play this at different times to see the actual decisions that are being made so that it isn't as complicated and mysterious in a theoretical way, and you can, in fact, see it being done. So, in this case, once again, the still life, if it helps, you can pare things down. This is just a table outside with a vase of flowers. But I made no effort to say that this is separated from the rest of the world. That's to say that the table sits on the ground, and finding all those values, those patterns of light and dark. And of course, that'll include objects that are sitting behind it. So this chair, for instance, and so on. So I hope that this helps. And let me know if you need any more advice.